Hollywood has been enabling predators since its inception, but none disturb me more than the relationship between 15-year-old Eddie Furlong and his then-girlfriend, 29-year-old Jackie Domack. They would begin living together when he was just 16 years old, which would lead to his downfall, a lifetime of addiction, and the loss of his promising career. Eddie and Jackie would meet on the set of Terminator 2 when she was his stand-in. He was just 13 years old and she was 26. Eddie at the time was as unprepared for fame as you could get, as he was literally plucked off the street at a Pasadena boys club by the casting director for James Cameron's Terminator 2. James Cameron remembers calling Eddie's uncle at the time, who was his guardian, and asking them if they had any idea what they were about to get into. They did not. Terminator 2 made over $500 million at the box office, launching Eddie into superstardom in the matter of months. He was second only to Macaulay Culkin. But behind the scenes of this very popular film, there was an intense custody battle going on over Eddie and his finances. He had over 4 people vying to be his guardian. The first was his mother, who sued his aunt and uncle for custody of her son shortly after he was cast as John Connor in Terminator 2. She had been the one to permit him to live with his aunt and uncle. Next had been his LA lawyer, Bruce Ross, who had become the guardian of his finances since September of 1991. And finally, the last person vying for control over Eddie's life was his 29-year-old tutor, Jackie. And while this was all going on in his personal life, Eddie continued constantly working. Director Tony Bill was the first to suspect that Jackie had romantic intentions toward the 15-year-old child star. Before arriving on his set, Jackie had become an accredited teacher who was there to teach all 6 of his underage stars. She would be fired from the set after she was discovered wrestling with Eddie and another co-star on her classroom floor. Not seeing anything wrong with this behavior, his aunt and uncle would keep her on as Eddie's private tutor, and she began traveling with them, something they'd later regret. Director Tony Bill would write to Eddie's agent expressing intense concern over the child star's future, wondering where on earth any of his guardians were in his life, and saying that in all of his 30 years of working, he had never met a child star that was so clearly on the path to disaster. It wouldn't be long until Eddie's aunt and uncle finally caught on to what Jackie was up to, and they had it out with her right before the filming of the movie Brain Scan. Eddie's aunt said that she told Jackie straight to her face that there was something very sick and wrong about her relationship with her nephew, to which Jackie responded, "I know how much power I have over Eddie. I can make him do anything I want." After this interaction, the set of Brain Scan became a battle. Eddie's aunt and uncle were finally trying to parent him and trying to control how much he saw Jackie. From interactions like, "Eddie, you can't go visit Jackie. You've worked 12 hours. You need to get some sleep." Them telling him to get off the phone with Jackie. "It's 3 a.m. You need sleep." To an interaction where they told him that he could not see her and he punched a hole in the ceiling of his trailer. And his aunt would claim that she found Jackie asleep in his bed at one point. Keep in mind, he's 15. Now, these constant battles made working on this set impossible for everyone around them. And there was an emergency court hearing where his aunt and uncle were banned from the set. And his LA lawyer, who had control of his finances, was now the guardian of his person as well. After filming concluded, Eddie returned to LA to live with Jackie.